Lebanon's health minister says more than 2,500 people have been injured after pagers used by the Hezbollah militia group exploded simultaneously across the country. Hezbollah fighters and medics are among the wounded. Several deaths have also been reported. Iranian media say Iran's ambassador to Lebanon has been injured. Hezbollah says it is investigating the cause of the blasts. Israel has declined to comment. Security expert Hans-Jakob Schindler is Senior Director of the Counter Extremism Project. He joins us from New York. Welcome to DW. What do you think is going on?
Thank you so much for having me. I mean, looking at the numbers of pages that are exploding, it's definitely not an accident and also very unlikely a wrong production. Obviously, mobile phones and pagers, batteries can explode if they're exposed to excessive heat, but to have this happen within a space of hours in thousands of pages that the Hezbollah just bought recently to replace their old pages seems very unlikely to be a production mistake or an accident.
OK, so that leaves us with a deliberate assassination attempt, a deliberate attempt to injure. Who are the likely suspects?
Well, I think, if you look at what the discussion is, of course, there is one nation that has an interest to disrupt Hezbollah. Now, these pager explosions don't really have the ability to really kill individuals, but seriously harm them. Mossad has used mobile phones with explosive devices embedded into them.
Mossad, that's the Israeli Secret Service.
It's a secret service. Yahya Ayash died. He was the chief bomb maker of Hamas and the person who introduced suicide bombings as a tactic for Hamas was killed by an exploding mobile phone. But there was explosive material embedded into the phone. It's not really conceivable that Israel would be able to embed explosives in thousands of pages. So it must be, my assessment, having to do something with overloading the battery remotely. But yes, of course, everyone assumes it is Israel.
And if it is Israel, and I appreciate we are speculating, but what message do you think this is sending? Because this is spectacular. Exactly.
I think, in my assessment, if this is really an Israeli operation, and I'm sure they are not going to confirm this in this case, or very unlikely to confirm this, it's simply to have a spectacle to say no one is safe. If you're a Hezbollah member, even if you're an unimported Hezbollah member, we can get to you. So think twice if you want to continue working with Hezbollah, because one thing is clear, the situation in northern Israel, southern Lebanon, has not calmed down at all in the last couple of months. And Hezbollah is very adamant that they are going to continue the attacks on Israel as long as the conflict in Gaza is not resolved. And that puts Israel in a two-front war of very, very active proportions, both in Gaza as well as in northern Israel, in addition to a situation in the West Bank, which heats up, the situation in Syria, which is not really calmed down either. So this is a multi-front war, and this is, if it is an Israeli operation, a clear warning sign against normal Hezbollah members.
Good talking to you. Thank you for guiding us through that so clearly. Hans-Jakob Schindler, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.